Mr. J. Maybe you recognize me from being around the school. I'm Miss Rachel's husband, and sometimes I come in and I help fix things and build things whenever I have some free time to help out at the preschool. But what I want to talk to you about today is what my real job is. And I am a pilot. And what is a pilot? A pilot is someone that flies airplanes. This is the airplane I fly. There are a lot of different kinds of airplanes out there. Some airplanes are really big, some airplanes are really small, some planes are used to haul cargo and supplies and things that you order on Amazon that your mom gets and has delivered to the front porch in a box. And some airplanes are used to take people around. Some airplanes hold a lot of people, some airplanes only hold a little bit of people. The kind of airplane this is an airplane to fly a small group of people around when they need to get places really quick and get back home because they really don't have a lot of time. Here's a look at the airplane, and here's some of my friends that live close by in my neighborhood and some of my kids, Asher and Sylvia and Ruby, and they're all taking a look at the airplane and sitting on the wing. Now, here the airplane is what it looks like when you're in the cockpit. Now you'll see in the cockpit there's a whole lot of buttons and a lot of different things to make you fly the airplanes, but one thing you'll see that all airplanes have right in the middle is something called the throttles. And when you push up those throttles, it makes the airplane go fast, and when you pull the throttles back, it makes them go slow. Now this airplane has two throttles. The reason it has two throttles is because it has two engines on the back of the plane. So it takes two engines for this airplane to fly. And so each engine gets its own throttle. Now this is the back of the airplane. This is where Miss Tori and Miss Dina would sit when they fly in an airplane like this. This is where all the important people ride when they want to get from one place to another. Now, this is a good look at the airplane that I fly when I wear these clothes. Let me introduce you to one of my friends that flies a different airplane. Hey, Lucky Lane kids. Surprise, it's me. That's right, not only do I fly the other plane, I also am a part-time pilot on an airplane like this called a C-130. Now this C-130 is a military airplane, and it flies all over the world to all different places, taking around people and cargo and moving things for the military in all kinds of different ways. Now, this, what you see here, is my crew that I flew with the last time I flew a C-130. As you can see, it takes a lot of people in a plane like this because there's people that fly the plane, there's people that make sure the plane's working right, and there's people in the back of the plane that take care of everything that goes on in the back. And we'll talk about what goes on in the back of a C-130 here in a minute. But when you're sitting in the cockpit of a C-130, you get to take a look at everything around you. Sometimes you can see here, we take off and we get on the runway, and there's a lot of C-130s all on the runway together, and we take off at the same time. And this is what it looks like when you sit and look out. Now, when you're in the cockpit of a C-130, you'll see it's got even more buttons and things than the other airplane I showed you. But what's the one thing you see in this airplane that we saw on the other airplane? Do you remember what we talked about? What makes the airplane go fast and what makes it go slow? Yeah, the throttles. They're right here in the middle. And the reason they put them in the middle is so either pilot can reach the throttles and fly the airplane, because there's two pilots in the front. Now the difference between the throttles on this airplane and on the last airplane I showed you, does anyone remember how many the last airplane had? It had two throttles because there were two engines on the plane. But a C-130 is a little bit bigger. So on a C-130, it has four engines. So how many throttles do you think it has? Four. And if we look here, we'll see all four throttles right in the middle. And each throttle can make each engine go faster or slower. So there's what it looks like in the front of the C-130. Let's take a look in the back and see what's going on back there. Back here is where we haul all our supplies. If we want to haul cargo, food, water, people. Sometimes we have to help people that are in the military that need supplies. Sometimes we help people whenever there's a disaster, maybe a hurricane or an earthquake, and we need to get water and food there as fast as we can. The military can load up these airplanes and get the people food and water when they need it really quickly. We might be able to move soldiers around that need a ride. We can load trucks inside of the C-130. And the C-130 is special because it can go to a lot of places that some other big airplanes just can't go. Like if we take a look here, this is what it looks like when you have to land somewhere where the runway, which is what airplanes land on, isn't quite done yet. So what they do is they smooth out the dirt and the rocks, and we'll land right on the dirt, as you can see here, and that way they can get more supplies in to finish building the runway. Or another thing we might do, we might have to go in somewhere like this, where they don't want anyone to see where the runway is, so they turn off all the lights. So you have a whole city here with their lights on, but they don't see there's a runway right in the middle with the lights turned off. And how do we see the runway? We wear special goggles called night vision goggles. And the night vision goggles, as you can see here, let us see in the dark. The only thing about night vision goggles is they make everything look green. So it looks a little weird when you're flying an airplane at night with night vision goggles. Here's another fun thing we do sometimes. These are called flares. And we use these whenever we're flying around bad guys and we want to kind of confuse them about where we are. We'll shoot these flares out and it kind of confuses them on how to find us. And then also, we have to land places where sometimes it's really hard to see the runway. So we got to just keep going until we finally see it. Can anyone see the runway in this picture, in this video? Can you see it yet? I think we're getting closer. Ooh, I'm starting to see it now. There it is, another dirt runway in the middle of nowhere. And we land right on the dirt like it's no problem. And that's what makes the C-130 a really special airplane when it comes to moving things. But another thing that makes C-130s really special is when people need those supplies, we don't always have to land. Can you guess another way we could get supplies to people from an airplane when they're way down there on the ground? We can drop those supplies out of the back of the airplane with a parachute. Because sometimes the people on the ground are somewhere where they can't get any supplies. There's no gas stations or no Target or Walmart to go pick up what you need. So we'll fly over, and if there's no runway to land at, we'll just drop it right out of the back of the plane. And you can see that people just wait for it to come down. We can drop big containers of water or gas or food or anything they might need. We can even drop people when there's nowhere to land and people need to get somewhere. We can drop people out of the plane and they go down with a parachute. Maybe some of your parents have jumped out of an airplane with a parachute before. Not me though. I like to stay in the front and fly the airplane. Here's a look at what it looks like when we do drop something. You'll see the cargo is held in by a strap, and we turn a switch on and it cuts the strap and the cargo just flies right out of the back of the airplane and parachutes down to the ground to the people. And this is an example of a place where we might fly because there's people down there and there's really no way to land the airplane and there's no roads to get the supplies, so we fly down this valley till we get to where our people are that need our help, and we just drop the supplies right down to them. So, I hope this gives you a good idea of some different careers. For me, I wear 2 different outfits to work. I wear my nice clothes when I fly my nice airplanes, and I wear my green clothes when I fly my military airplane. And I hope this gives you a good idea of some different things that pilots do out there in the regular world and also in the military. Bye, guys.